ne'eman. Nevertheless, we said that a person is ne'eman to say, this person is my son, and change the chazaka and pater his wife from Yibum if he dies. Okay. Now, why is a person ne'eman to say that? So the Gemara clarified, and the reason is because it's biyado legarsha, right? Meaning he's here now, and he wants to ensure that when he dies, his wife doesn't have to do Yibum. So there's two ways he can go back. So practically, he's able to just give her a get. If he gives her a get, then she's not going to have to do Yibum. So therefore, because he's capable now of giving her a get, so he would be ne'eman to say. That's what the Mishnah is saying, that he's ne'eman to say that this is my son, and therefore in doing so, he's going to be patur from Yibum as well. The Gemara discusses it has two members b'shem Rabbi Yosef, and the Gemara speaks about on Kuf Lamed Daled Amud Beis whether or not a person's ne'eman to say girashtis ishti, that I divorced my wife. One member says that he is believed, one member says he isn't. And the Gemara on Kuf Lamed Daled Amud Beis wanted to be making that the one which said he is believed, it made a differentiation between whether you're saying I divorced her now or like within very recently, or whether you're saying I divorced her a couple of days ago, right? Because the whole ne'emanus that he has, why is he believed? Because he can say he's able to give her a get, right? So that only helps if his claim is that I divorced her now. If he's saying I divorced her now, then we can believe him because he also could have given her a get now. So it doesn't make any difference for him. Whereas if he's trying to say I divorced her 5 days ago, that giving her a get now would not achieve the same thing, right? What happens if she was mazana 2 days ago and he's claiming I divorced her 5 days ago? Well, it's not biyadai to give her a get now that would pater her from the chiyav misa, which she's chayav for being mazana as an ashes ish 2 days ago. So therefore, he's not going to be believed. So that was the chiluk the Gemara made over that. Fine. So now let's see the Gemara over here. And the Gemara is going to bring down a story and try and clarify. So we'll just read through the Gemara and just try and work out exactly what the case is. So the Gemara says, Hahu dahava kashachim. There was a person who was about to die. They said to him, who is your wife to? And they wanted to know, what's your wife's status? Is she as kukuliyavim? Is she not? So, just reading the case, what exactly are we talking about? Are we talking about where we're muhsik that he has brothers? Are we talking about that he's muhsik? We don't know that he has brothers. So let's just go through the options. If we're muhsik that he has brothers, then he would be believed to say yesh libon, right? That's what we said in the Mishnah. If he's not, and so therefore if his claim is yesh libonim, then it doesn't make a difference whether we're muhsik that he has brothers or not. He's able to change that chazak. What about if his claim is girashtis ishti? So that's going to depend on the two lishnas. But according to the way we answered it up there, that wouldn't make a difference, right? Because as long as he's saying I divorced her now, he's even believed to say that to go against the chazaka. So there's no reason at this point that we're forced to, that we have a need to say there is or isn't a chazaka, right? About a chazaka whether or not he has brothers. So fine. So let's see what's his claim. So he says Amalahu Chazer lekanos, Rabba. So there's two gerses here. The gerse of the Rashbam seems to be just Chazer lekanos. So we'll go with that for the moment. We will hopefully, if we have time, we'll discuss the other gerse later. So he says, my wife is Chazer lekana, meaning she's suitable to marry a kohen. Now, who do we know is suitable to marry a kohen? So we know the Mishnah in Yevamos, Perek Beis, Mishnah Daled says that a gerusha is not able to marry a kohen, and almana is, right? So there's no reason to think that this claim that he's making is an exaggeration, is anything like that. Why not? He said that she's right to a kohen. He knows the halacha, and so he's saying she's right to a kohen, meaning what? Well, he can't be making a claim of girash that I divorced her, because if he divorced his wife, she's a gerusha, and a gerusha is asura to a kohen. So it must be the what's he saying? He's saying that she's going to be an almana, i.e., he's saying that I have children, so when I die, she'll be an almana. If she's going to be an almana, then she's going to be mutaras le'kohen. Okay. And so if it, so lechaya going back, right? We can say that the case is talking about. It could even be talking about where muhsik that he has brothers, So we were muhsik prior to this that she was kukuli avam. Nevertheless, because he's claiming Yashli Bonim, right? Muhrach in his words that she's right to a coin is a claim that I have sons. And so therefore we had the mission on Kuf Lamed Aleph that he's never to say that, right? So let's see the Hamshach of the Gemara based on that. So the Gemara says, "Oh my Rava, my nechoshlo." Rava says, well, "What are you going to be concerned for?" Meaning, yeah, he has a good, his claim's good. He's believed in what he said, so she's muteris. So her Amr Rabbi Bar Abba continues. Rava surely Rabbi Bar Abba said, "Amr Yochanan, Baal Shama Girashis Ishti Naman." We said, right, we brought down on Kuflam Dal and on the base, B'Shem Rabbi Yochanan, that a husband who says that I divorced my wife, he's believed. So hold on a second, I don't understand. We just said that his claim was, I have sons. So why now are you not bringing the Mishnah on Kuflam Dal and on Aleph? What's he doing now, bringing Rabbi Yochanan, who said that a person's name will say Grashis Ishti? That's got nothing to do with what we just said. So now I've got two options. So it could be that you're going to have to say that clearly the Gemara understood for some reason, which I don't, just reading the Gemara without seeing any Rishonim, I don't understand why that would be. But clearly the Gemara understood when he said, Chazir Lekana, when he said my wife is right to a Kohen, he meant a claim of Gerashti. Now that doesn't really make sense because what we said before, that just doesn't fit. So if you were to say that, you'd have to say that this is an exaggeration. But what would force you to say that? If all we know is that she's if all we know is that he's got brothers, right? Then he's Nemon with the claim Gerash is Ishti. So there's no and he'd be Nemon say that I have sons. So why would you think when he says Chazil Kanim he's saying Gerash is Ishti? Your other option would be what? The Gemara, no, Eino Hinami, we were right. That Chazil Kana meant that literally what he said, that I have sons, and therefore she's right to me to marry a Kohen because she's going to be an Amon when I die. Why is the Gemara bringing in Girashti? Because the outcome's the same, meaning the Gemara is just trying to say, just like we saw over there, that a person is Namon say Girashti is Ishti. Why is he Namon? Because Biyodel Garsha. Alright, he's able to give her a get now. So in the same way as he's believed to say that, he's also believed when he says Chazilakana, i.e. I have bonim. So it would be an interesting read. It would, like I said, it would be strange. Why is the Gemara not bring the Mishnah on Kuflam Aleph? But I could still stick with my current read. Okay. So Amalei Abaya. So Abaya says to him, "V'ha ki also Rabbi Yitzchak Yosef, Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Ba'asham Agash L'Seishti, Einu Neman." Surely Rabbi Yitzchak said B'Shem Rabbi Yosef and B'Shem Rabbi Yochanan, another member, right, which we brought before, and we said he said that when a person says I divorced my wife, he's not Neman, right? So therefore we have two contradicting members. One said that you are Neman Segrashis Tishi. One said you're not Neman Segrashis Tishi. So how can you say that? It's so pasha that we're just going to be mad to her when we have two conflicting members. So this just gets worse. Because how can you now, if we understood his claim as being that I have sons and therefore she's mutter to marry a Kohen, this member is irrelevant. We have a Mishnah which says that you're believed. No one, the member, right, the Gemara over there discussed why is it that a person what's the svara to say that when a person says Gerash is Ishti, he's not Ne'emon, even though if he says Yashli Bonim, he is Ne'emon. Because when a person says Gerash is Ishti, normally when a person divorces his wife, there's a call. So it gets big publicity, everyone hears about it. Here there was no call. So when a person claims Gerash is Ishti, especially when the claim is that I did it recently, right? Because he's not Ne'emon say I did it Lemafreya. So there should be a call. If there's no call, then that's a reasa on his migu. So he's extra Ne'emonis, which he would have had with his migu, has been damaged by the fact there's no call, and therefore he's not believed. When it comes to Yeshli Bonim, there's no svara to say that. If a person says Yeshli Bonim, there's no call about whether he had sons. So, and we have the Mishnah said he's believed. So the read we had just doesn't seem to make sense according to this. So Pashtus really would be that for some reason the Gemara took it as a given that he couldn't make a claim of Yeshli Bonim. And so therefore when he said Chazilakana, it must mean that that I divorced my wife. Otherwise, the question of Abai just doesn't make sense. Okay, so let's see the Hemshech of the Gemara. So Amalei responded, Rava, mi lo shaninu. Didn't we answer up earlier, that we differentiate between those two members? You're trying to tell me that, right? So let's go now with that the claim of Hazil Kana must be that he's saying I divorced my wife. Okay, so now we have two conflicting members. One says that you are believed, one says you aren't believed. Very nice. But says Rava, good, but we answered it before. We said, Kan lahaba, kan mafreya. That if you say, right, kan me'achshav, kan mafreya, kan lahaba, right, if a person's saying that I divorced her now, then he's believed. There's no reason to say when he says, Hazila kana, that he's saying, I divorced my wife 5 days ago. There's no reason to think that. No, he's saying I divorced her now, and therefore, you're going to say, what, he's exaggerating? Fine. So he doesn't mean literally Hazila kana, he just means that she's muteres l'shuk. Fine. But why? And I still have my point that why should you be worried? You should believe him and be mad to her to marry a Yisrael. The second member, we said already that that's not my friend. There's no reason to be worried about that. So then I asked the Gemara, you're going to go and rely on that svara. So what's the Gemara saying? It's saying, over there we answered it up. But Lamaisa, we have two members, B'Shem Rabbi Yosef, and that was just a dechiyah. We can't say for certain that Rabbi Yosef was saying one of them, and in one it was Rabbi Yosef was saying lahaba, and one he was saying lamafreya. It could be that no, he said one thing, and just two talmidim came out with conflicting. They came out of shir with different ideas of what the Rabbi said. Okay, so you can't now be matter this woman to marry a Yisrael when it could be that she's actually Zakuk Liyav. Okay. Fine. So so we came out essentially that Pashtus read really would be Chazil Kana means that I have Bonim. But based on the Hemshech of the Gemara, that seems to be a very hard read. So let's see, we'll start with Rashbam, we'll see how the Rishonim deal with this. So Rashbam says, Ahuda Havaka Shachiv. What does he say? He had brothers and he didn't have sons. So it's not so clear in Rashbam whether there's a chazaka that he doesn't have sons, or whether it's just that we have a chazaka that he has brothers and we just don't know about whether or not he has sons or not. Whether there seems to be a potential distinction made in the poskim, whether or not there's a chazaka that a person doesn't have sons, so then is he still believed to say Yashli Bon? Right? The Mishnah over here says that a person can say Zebani in order to pater his wife from Yibum. We said that's the case when we're muhsik that he has brothers. But we didn't say that's the case when we're muhsik that he has brothers and we're muhsik that he doesn't have sons. It could be that dafka when we're muhsik that he, when we don't know about if he has sons or not, then he's believed to say Yashli Bonim. If we're muhsik that he doesn't have sons, then he won't be believed. So I can't really say from this Rashbam one way or another. It's unclear from this Rashbam exactly how we know this details. We're just going to say it's a chazaka. The Nimuka Yosef is not quoting the Rashbam, but he brings basically the same lashon, and he says a lashon of Shemanu Mipiv. We heard from the father that he has brothers and he doesn't have sons. So fine. But Mimon of Shach, it just seems to be a chazaka. The basin of Muchzik. This is the facts. Okay, weiter. So on related, Salaman's kukul oy materis l'shuk. So they asked him, right, what's the case with your wife? And he responded, Chazil Kana. So how does Rashbam explain this? Lav dafka, ela shemuteris l'chol adam, ve'ena zakuk liyavam. Right, he does a lav dafka, like we said. The Rashbam feels that you have to say that he doesn't literally mean she's mutter to kain. Rather, he's just saying that she's not Zukuk Liyavam, and she's able to marry anyone from any Yisrael. However, to a kain shall be asr. The ha, why? The ha al-yedei sha'amar girashti as ishti neman mehemninon. Because in Farish Vaz, right, like we went on to explain, why is he believed? He's believed because he has a migu that he could have divorced her, or that he could have said I divorced her. Right? That's the case the Gemara brings of a person's name will say girashti as ishti. And if a person says Gerashis Ishti, then all his Neman then a woman who's divorced is asura l'kayin, right? So even if he's saying yesh li bonim, even if he's saying yesh li bonim, that wouldn't help, because his migu is based on the fact that she could have that he could have divorced her, and so therefore he only has ne'amonis as much as the what he could have done. What he could have done is given her a get. Okay. It's possible that what's forcing Rashbam to say that also is Rashbam at the beginning when he said v'loi ban. So it could be based on this that you'll say v'loi ban, and he means to say, and if you use the lashon Nuki Yosef says it's the father who's saying this, then it could be we can say that the father is telling us he doesn't have banim, right? That previously the father had said he doesn't have banim, so now we have a chazaka that he doesn't have. So therefore, the Rashbam saying lav dafka, you bechlal can't understand this claim of chazil kana as meaning that he has banim. So you have to explain it as a claim of that girash is ishti, and therefore that's all. Therefore she's not going to be mutar l'kayin. She's only going to be mutaras l'shuk. Fine. We'll leave Rashbam there for now. Let's have a look. So right. So it could also be, like we pointed out, that it could be what's forcing Rashbam to say that this is the case is because the hemshech of the Gemara brings in the two members about Gerash es Ishti, and that, like we said, it just doesn't make sense to bring those in if the claim is Yeshli Ban.
When you said that she's interested in the chef, are we gonna do a separate
No, because the husband's believed, right? At this point in the Gemara, meaning at this point in the Gemara, there wouldn't be any need to. In the Hemshech of the Gemara, the Gemara clarifies that because we have these two members, and one says that you are believed to say Gerash es Ishti, and one says you're not believed to say Gerash es Ishti, and the answer we gave before is no good, and so we're masupuk what the din is. So therefore, la halacha, yeah, we're going to say that she has to do chalitza and she can't do yibum because on the tzad that we do believe the father, right, the husband. Okay. Right, sorry, that's just the last line in the Gemara. The Amali Rava, Rav Nassim, Mar'ami Chaysh. Right, sorry, I forgot to read that before. So Pashas and that will be like Rashbam learns, right, Chayshla Ka'abaye, that she's Asr L'Shuk. And so she's gonna have to do chalitza. Fine. Let's have a look at Tosfos. Tosfos says Chazil Kana Rabba. So now let's bring in this other gersa. So until now we were going with Rashbam's gersa. Rashbam's gersa is just that the father is claiming my wife is mutar l'kayin. There's this other gersa which has the word Rabba, right? That he's claiming Chazil Kana Rabba. My wife is roi to marry a great kohen, i.e. a kohen god. So that is like crazy, right? He's married to her. A kohen gadol is only mutar to a basula, a woman who's never been married and never had bia with anyone. So how on earth is the husband coming along now and saying that my wife is mutaras to a kohen gadol? Whether his claim is yashli banim, whether his claim is gerash es ishti, it doesn't make a difference. Miman of shach is not mutar to a kohen gadol. So therefore. So fine. So let's just see how Tosfos deals with this. So Tosfos says, "Chazil Kana Rabba yesh moichkim Rabba." There's those who get rid of the word Rabba. Mishum delachol apachas almonahi. V'lo chazil kohen gadol. Even if you're going to say that his claim is yesh libonim, so she's an almona. An almona is still asur kohen gadol. Okay. Fine. So then you'd explain it lechayra like Rashbam. Ma'imari. The Shafigar's Rabba. No, Mari's very happy to be going to Rabba on the hot. After kain hadiyat asira. The hot mitam shamag yashtia haya matter. Even meaning he says Chazil Kana Rabba, but his whole ne'emonos is based on that he could have said Gerash es Ishti and that he could have given her a get. So Miman of Shach, right? Tosfos understands. We see in Kufla Medal Tosfos Hoyel. Tosfos points out over there that the migu is an interesting migu because the result is different, right? If he says Yashli Bonim, then the result is she's an almona and she's mutaras l'kayin. Masha'enkin, if he gives her a get, she's a grusha and she's asur l'kayin. Normally we say that a migu l'chatzayin, where the result of the migu is different, we don't use such a migu, right? So Tosfos just over there wants to say, the Tosfos just says that we don't care and we still say the migu, but we only say it right? The last line in Tosfos over there, Hoyel, is Mikamakim Chashiv Migu Lepatra Miyavam. So Tosfos understands that because the Migu is based off of a claim of Yerashis Ishti, so that's all the Naaman he has. Normally we don't say Migu Lechatzayin. So the Ramban over there gives a svara that I think the Ramban is found on Lamed Gimel on the base. Ramban over there gives a svara that because from the husband's perspective it doesn't make a difference. He couldn't care less whether his wife after he dies is mutaris to a kohen or mutaris to a yisrael. All he cares about is that she's not zkukah liyava. So therefore, when from his perspective it doesn't make a difference, so therefore he still has a mig, because for him it didn't make a difference which claim he made. Fine. So taking that to here, so Tosfos is saying that even if his claim is Chazil Kana Rabbah, he would only have the ne'emanos of a person who's megarish his wife. And a person who's megarish his wife, even to a kohen hediyat, she's not mutaris. So therefore, right, the ha af kohen hediyat asir, the ha mitam shamig rashtia haya matzah. She'd only be mutter because he could have said I divorced her, and not because of some claim of that he had sons. The imkain haya neman. Because if we understood his claim of Chazil Kana as being that I have sons, he'd be believed to make such a claim. Because that must be right. Tosfos points out the Mishnah, which the Gemara didn't even bring. The Zeb beni Neman. Umay have a Maisi Allah, Milson Rabbi Yochanan. Right? This is exactly the point we made when we read the Gemara. What if the claim that he's making is I yeshli bonim, I have sons, and therefore my wife is going to be an almana and she'll be mutaris l'kayin. Then why does the Gemara bring Rabbi Yochanan? Why doesn't the Gemara bring the Mishnah, which speaks about explicitly a case of a person who says yeshli bonim? Elo hachi pirushu, say it must be what's pshat in the Mishnah in the Gemara over here, and he has claimed the Chazil Kana Rabbah. What does he mean when he says Chazil Kana Rabbah? So meaning Tosfos is saying he's saying I don't need to get rid of the word Rabbah, because Miman of Shach, it's clear in the Gemara that we don't take his claim as a claim of Yeshli Bonim, and rather we take it as a claim of Girash Jes Ishti, because of the Hemshech of the Gemara. So once that's true, then getting rid of the word Rabbah and saying his claim is Chazil Kana is no better, because you're still going to have to do some sort of Lav Dafka on his claim, because Chazil Kana doesn't work with the claim of Girash, right? So therefore it says leave the Gersa, and what's he saying? Hahachi pirusha chad de Chazil Kana Rabbah kloimer eino zukuka liyibum shegirashtia the mutaris lechol ha'olam va'afilu lekohen gadol mitam zikas yam. Meaning he doesn't mean to say she's actually before al lemaisa that she's mutter to a kohen gadol. All he means to say is mitzad the chiyuv of yibum. There's no chiyuv yibum. Therefore, mitzad the chiyuv yibum, she's mutter l'kohen gadol, just like she would be mutter to anyone else. Eino hinami. There might be other issues why she's a sur l'kohen gadol, but he's just talking mitzad the yibum because he understands that's what they're asking him about. When they're asking it's Solomon, they're asking is there a problem? Is she a kukul yavam or not? So he's saying, don't worry about the yibum. She's mitzad that she's even right to a kohen gadol, but obviously he doesn't mean to say that she's actually mutaris l'kohen gadol. Fine. So according to that read, so you're going to have to say right that essentially Tosfos says it's just like expression. He's saying that don't be concerned about yibum, and then the rest of the Gemara reads very nicely. Meaning you're going to read that you're going to understand. Tosfos understands that his claim is only Chazil Kana, even though he said Chazil Kana Rabbah. All we take that to mean is Girash Jes Ishti. Now, why would you take that to mean that? Meaning, even if you're going to say that he can't possibly mean Chazil Kana Rabbah, why does the Gemara take that as his claim? So the Ritva points out, and a number of the Rishonim point out, they have a svara that because what he said is unclear, he didn't say explicitly, I have bonim, right? He just said that this expression of, don't worry about the yibum. So therefore, you can only take his word at the least possible that you're going to be matter her based on it. So therefore, you can't be matter to a kohen hediyat even and say that that the claim of the husband is yeshli bonim, because his claim wasn't clear. So all you can take it is that the least that it is. The least that it is girash yes ishti, and then she's going to be mutaris l'shuk einachinami. That's at least what he means. Fine. Let's just see this last one. Garas chazil kahuna. So this is an interesting girsa. He's garas le kahuna meaning she's right to kahuna, not to that's not mashma that it's marrying a kohen, it's mashma to kahuna. Kalaima, how does he understand this? Eino zukukul liyavam, v'chazeres la kahunas bei nasa la'echol b'truma. Meaning, she is a bas kohen, right? We're talking about a case of a bas kohen who's married to a yisrael. So while she's married to the yisrael, she's not able to marry she's not able to eat truma. Now, what happens when she dies? So the din is, if a bas kohen who's married to a yisrael, if she has a son with that yisrael, then even if the husband dies, because she has a son now who's a yisrael, so she's still not going to be able to eat truma. So in some ways, this comes out the opposite, right? He's now trying to say that no, he's not discussing yibum. He's discussing whether or not she's going to be able to eat truma, and he's saying that she's going to be able to eat truma. Don't worry. And so therefore, you're going to have to explain what's he saying. He's definitely not saying that she's kukuli yavam, because if she's going to be kukuli yavam, then she's not going to be able to eat truma either. And she can't. And he's definitely. And he's also saying that I don't have bonim, because if he has bonim, then also she's not going to be able to eat truma when he dies. So Elamai, you have to understand that his claim is girash jes ishti. He's saying I divorced my wife, and therefore she's able to go and eat truma, because I don't have sons, and she's not kukuli yavam, so therefore she's able to eat truma. If that's so, and then the Hemshech Lumar makes sense why we're bringing in Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Yosef and the discussion about claiming Gerashis. Fine. We're not going to be able to see it inside, but there's a very interesting Rimagash which the Ramban brings down, where the Rimagash wants to read this literally. He's not Goris Rabbo, he's just Goris Chazra Kana, and he wants to understand that actually the husband saying my wife is Roy La Kahuna, and so how is that true? Because his claim is Yeshli Bon. How does that fit with the rest of the Gemara, right? We ran into big problems with that. So he learns it as the Gemara is saying, like we wanted to say initially. Just like, right, the Gemara, Abaya says, Rabba says, what are you worried about? Surely we said, a person who says, Gerashtis Ishti, then he's Nemon. Now why is he Nemon? Because B'yadar Legarsha. So, in the same way that he's Nemon, because B'yadar Legarsha would say Gerashtis Ishti, he's also Nemon say Yeshli Bonim, right? The whole reason he's Nemon say Yeshli Bonim is because B'yadar Legarsha. So the Gemara is just bringing this. It's still a question. You still are going to have a question on the Rimigash why the Gemara doesn't bring the Mishnah, but it's now more understood. So he just explains that's why we bring Gerashis Ishti. What's with the continuation? The continuation is then the Gemara says that surely we said that the person who says Gerashis Ishti ain't an Amon, and what was the problem with that? We understood that as being Lamafre, right? So according to that, you're going to. So what's the Gemara's question? Give me 1 second. Right. Sorry. Backtrack. Rimagash learns this Gemara. Sorry, I made a mistake. Backtrack. Rimagash understands the claim of Chazil Kana has nothing to do with Yeshli Bonim. It's nothing to do with Gerashis Ishti. The claim is that I was Mekadesh her al Tanai. Right? He understands that he's saying, and he's even Goris Chazil Kana Rabba, and he's manages to read the Gears of Chazil Kana Rabba, and not that the husband's just saying it as some expression, but actually it means she's ready to marry a Kohen Gadol. How is that possible? Because he's claiming that I gave her Kiddushin al Tanai, I never had Bia with her, and I haven't fulfilled the Tanai. So therefore the Kiddushin is Batal Mafreya. Eino Hinami, while he's still alive, because it's Biyado too, he's still able to fulfill the Tanai, so she wouldn't be able to marry anyone, because we'd still be chayshish that he couldn't possibly fulfill the Tanai, right? And you're going to have to say it's the Tanai of Almanas, so therefore it's Lema Freya. So when he fulfills it, we would consider her to be Mekudeshes from the time the Kiddushin was given. But when he dies, she'll be Muteres even to a Kohen Gadol, because there was never, if he dies and he doesn't fulfill the Tanai, so there was never Kiddushin, and he never had Bia with her, so that's fine. The Ramban, when he brings this down, asks, hold on a second, we said before that a person is not an to Gerashtes Ishti 5 days ago, because that's a Lamafreya. So why is this any different? So he says, no, because over here it's still Biyado to fulfill the Tanai. So therefore it's all totally in his control. And so therefore it doesn't really make a difference to him what claim he makes. Right? We can bring in that same svara that it doesn't make a difference to him whether he makes a claim of the Ramban brings down a few questions. First, Ramban asks from the Gemara in Gittin discusses that the reason why we write as man in a get is because otherwise a person can write a get for his wife and then claim that I gave it to her 5 days ago. And why is he going to do that? Because he hears that she was mezaneh and he wants to protect her. He doesn't want her to get killed. So he's going to write a get, not write, but for the takana there was no need to write the zman in the get. So we don't know when the get was written. And then he'll give it to her and she'll claim she was given it before she was mezaneh. Therefore she wasn't an Eish, she's not Mechuyuv Misa. So therefore we require you to write the zman in the get. So too here, why shouldn't we should be chayshish for the same thing, right? Don't believe him when he says that I was Mekadesh Al tonight. First of all, there's a chazaka currently that she's an Eish Ish, right? So how on earth can you get rid of that? That's number one. Number two, he gets rid of that lemafreya. So meaning, why shouldn't we be chayshish here as well? That we should be chayshish here as well. That he's going to hear that she was mezaneh, and so therefore he'll come out and say, no, actually it was kedushin al tanai, and I haven't fulfilled the tanai, and I never had bia, and etc. and therefore she's a pnuya. And so therefore she wasn't mezaneh as an Eish, she was mezaneh as a pnuya, and so she's not mechuyuv misa. So why can't we should say he's not believed mitzad that. So Raman says no. That by zman by get I understand. That's something which is shchiach, so therefore the Chazal were misakin based on that. Right? But here for a person to make such a claim, that's not shchiach. So therefore the Chazal aren't going to say that you're not nemon to make such a claim because of that. Ramban does have the question which I mentioned before, which Ramban asks from the fact that it's lemafreya. That lechor is a good question, and I don't fully have a good answer for the Rimigash. The other question we're going to have on the Rimigash, which the Ramban mentions as well, is we mentioned Tosfos, who says that your whole Naimonus is based off of the fact that you're able to be Megarisha, and therefore you would only, even if you're going to say that the Migul works, but the Migul should only be as strong as the Biyadu, and the Biyadu was only to be Megarisha. So therefore he should only believe that as far as that. So even if his claim is it was Kedushin al Tanai, and they never had Biyah with her, and the Tanai was never fulfilled, and therefore she shouldn't be Muteres Kohen Gadol, Lamaisa she shouldn't be Muteres Kohen Gadol because he should only believe to say that she's a Megareshet. So that it's possible that you could answer up. Right, for the Rimigash himself, you might have problems because it seems that the Rimigash holds like Tosfos over here, that when a person he's only believed, right? That when he says Yesh li bonim, he's only believed to be matir her l'shuk, but he's not believed to be matir her as an almana, to then be mutter to marry a kohen. But it could be that there are others who express the same opinion as the Rimigash. The Rabbeinu Hananel is brought down in the Ramban. Him, I don't know what he holds over there. The Ri Kurkus also explains. So the Ri Kurkus explains slightly different. That's similar to Rabbeinu Gershom. It's a bit late, so we're not going to get totally into it. But they read the Gemara actually as a claim of Yesh li Bon. So that's very interesting, just to work out exactly how they understand the question of the Gemara from Gerashtes Ishti, because like we pointed out, that doesn't seem to make any sense if the claim is Yesh li Bon. But back to the Rabbeinu Hananel. So for the Rabbeinu Hananel, who I don't know that he holds like Tosfos, and if you look quickly at Rashbam Ha'omer B'chia Bar Abba over here on Kuf Lamed Almond Aleph, right? Rashbam says, let's just read through it quickly. Ha'omer B'chia Bar Abba, right? Rabbi B'chia Bar Abba said that a person who says Gerashtes Ishti, he's not Neman. This is also what this person said, Gerashtes Ishti. Right, Rashbam understands the claim of Chazal Kano was a claim of Gerashtes Ishti. And therefore she's mutter to Lashuk. Umihu lekana asir, but nevertheless should be asked. L'kohen the halak patrin lo ela b'tainas girashti is ishti, because we can only believe her with the taina of girashti or grusha psula l'kohen. Shaharei eino neftaras b'tainas yashli bon. Why? Because he's not being pater her from Yibum with a claim of girashti of yashli bonim. The mochzuk lo megavei the ainli bonim, because we are mochzuk he doesn't have bonim. So here. Right, it seems this what I wanted to be medayik in the Rashbam all the way at the beginning, the Rashbam of Banim, that we seem to be muhsik that he doesn't have sons, and therefore Rashbam is forced to say this. Pshat here he says it explicitly, right? The whole muhsik lan megave de ein lo banim. We're muhsik that he doesn't have sons, and therefore he's not even his claim when he says hazul kana. You're not going to interpret that as a claim of yashli banim. Previously we muhsik as ein. Continues Rashbam, ve'ihu loy toin yashli bonim. He never claimed yashli bonim. Denehemne alidei migu dematzi patla beget. Hilga chalchi ka'amar gerash. It's ishi v'neman hu de'im ba'i megarash. So I don't understand. What's he adding here? He says he never made a claim of yashli bonim that we believe with a migu that he could have given her a get. And if he had made a claim of yashli bonim, who cares? You just told me that he's only nemon because of a migu that b'yada legarsha. And b'yada legarsha, she'd only be mutter l'shuk. She wouldn't be mutter l'kohen. So what does it make a difference? If you understand that his claim was unclear, and therefore we're only going to understand his claim, and that we're muhzik that ain't lo banim, and therefore we're only going to understand his claim as being a claim of girashis ishti, and therefore she's only mutter l'shuk, but she's still also l'kohen. If you'd made a claim explicitly of yesh li banim, 2 points. First of all, you just told me that we're muhsik the ein lo banim, and number 2, you told me that he's only nemon, right? We had Tosfos who says that he's only nemon with his migu that he's able to say girash es ishti, and so he wouldn't be able to be matter halakayan anyway. So Rashbam seems to be saying that you would be able to be machalik, and the din would be different if he had actually explicitly said yashli banim. So you have to say 2 points. Number 1, Rashbam seems clear. Rashbam holds that even if we're muhsik that he has no children, if he explicitly says yashli banim, he's able to go against that hazak. That seems to be clear from this line in Rashbam. Number 2, Rashbam is saying dafka because his claim was unclear, and you can add in that we're muhsik that he doesn't have children. Therefore, we interpreted his claim as that, not that I have children, but rather we interpreted it as girash ishti. But if he had actually explicitly said yesh li banim, then we would believe him, and not just we would believe him to the same extent as we'd believe him if he had given his wife a get, but we believe him even to the extent of as if he actually has sons, and therefore we believe him to be matir her to a kohen. Why is that? So again, you're going to have to say as far that it seems you take the Ramban's svara even further. The Ramban's svara, it doesn't make a difference to the husband whether or not she's mutter a kohen or she's mutter to any other person. All that he cares about is that she's not the shkukul yavam. So you just have to take that another step and say that because of that, he's even believed to say yashli banim. That svara needs a bit of work. Exactly why it is that L'chaira, if migu is based on a neimonus that he could have given her a get, then that's the only neimonus he has. You can't give him more neimonus than that. But it's clear from Rashbam that he doesn't agree, and he holds that no, you would actually have the neimonus of yashli banim. So therefore, based on that, so it could be that the Rabbeinu Hananel agrees. It could be the Rabbeinu Hananel holds that when a person says yashli banim, that we actually believe him to that extent, and therefore we would be matir her to kona. And you'd have to say that Rabbeinu Hananel also holds that when a person says, it could be, I don't know that Rabbeinu Hananel holds that this is the case where we're Muslim, he doesn't have sons. It could be he holds this is the case where we're just Muslim that he has brothers, but we don't know that he has sons. And Rabbeinu Hananel is going to have, you'd explain Rabbeinu Hananel that Chazil Akana, we interpret that to mean that Yashli Banim, and he's even believed as a claim of Yashli Banim, and not just in as much as he could have claimed a Girashis Ishti, and therefore, according to Rabbeinu Hananel, the Havamina of Rava was to believe him even to such an extent that he has she's going to be an amana, and because he has sons, and so therefore she'd be mutter l'kain. There's more to say, but we'll hold it there. What was that?